Hello, good evening. This is Blue Sky Citadel Academy, and my name is Tokwe. Welcome to Mobile Application Testing Session 3. Just before we continue, let me know if you can hear me, please. All right, thank you very much. That's fine. All right, so tonight we'll be going through a walkthrough of emulators or simulators as well, and also we'll be doing a recap of last week's session, as well as just going through one or two test cases on GiveTreat website. So now last week we talked about test cases, scenarios, and test step design. We also looked at a guidance checklist to follow when you're carrying out mobile application testing. We tried to execute a test case on real mobile device. That was when I connected my mobile phone to a reflector application, and we were able to talk through test cases for installing an application from the iOS App Store. We also looked at reporting defects, and I think I gave you a walkthrough as well on emulators and simulators as well. Tonight, before we continue, I just want to talk about emulator and simulator, and there are differences between the two of them. And what I'll say is that emulator is a desktop application that mimics the hardware and operating system of the applications that should be tested. An example is the Google Android SDK. So basically, what an emulator will do is that it will act like the hardware and the software of the application, and then it will ensure you that it will give you a better test coverage than using a simulator, because the simulator's behavior is quite is very, very light. Simulators do not mimic the hardware or software of the application of the device that you are using. It only gives you like an interface for you to be able to carry out the testing as required. So an example of the emulator is the Google Android SDK, while an example of the simulator is the Apple iOS simulator. What I'll say is that it is good practice for you to research this. If I were you, I would research this just to gain broad knowledge about what emulators are and what simulators are, and how they can help you to achieve good mobile testing when you as a tester. Now we'll be going through. I'll just go quickly to show you. Yep. Now this is an application called, I hope you can see my screen. I'm showing you Bitbar. It's an application. It's a mobile application tool. Are you able to see the screen, the Bitbar screen? Let me know, please. That's fine. Thank you. Now this is an application called Bitbar. It's a cloud-based system that gives you the functionality to test mobile applications on a large variety of using a large variety of platforms, using different devices based on different configuration and all that. Now you can access this on the website, and you can Google cloudbitbar.com. I think it gives about a few days trial. Yeah, so I think it gives you about 2 weeks trial. You can register for the trial session and then give yourself a good walkthrough of how the application works play around with it to understand how it works. And basically, these are the things that you would need when when you go for interviews, and you'll be able to talk about them. On the left part of the application is the dashboard. You have the project, the devices. It gives you a manual testing interface as well. It also gives you an artificial test bot. What this artificial test bot does is it will crawl on the application depending on the configuration that you have or parameters that you have set this particular application to do. It will call on the application, carry out the functionality over a couple of devices, or based on the number of devices which you have actually configured it for, and then give you a report back on how on how the test has gone. Now you also have the test run creator. Bear in mind this is a free trial, so there's limited functionalities. When you come down here, you find these are the devices available on the platform for you to use. When these are the device groups. You can, depending on the test scenarios that you are trying to run, you have Android devices, you have the iOS, and you have the desktop browsers as well. Now, another thing is that you can also select based on the versions. This is the very recent iOS version. If I click on this and apply the filter, it gives me the very latest iOS devices. You can see the Samsung S10, Galaxy Note 9, and all that. Up to the very least and very outdated versions as well. Now, this is the iOS version as well. You have iOS 12. This is the very latest. If I filter that as well, I get the very latest Apple devices on iOS 12. And yeah, so basically, if you go through them, or different manufacturers, this is for CPU. When we talked about last week, we talked about checklist and also the guidance for you to carry out a mobile testing. So basically, this gives you this will help you to devise test cases that will be able to give you enough coverage for you to be able to carry out a mobile testing. And thing that you should know as a functional, as a mobile application tester is you need to derive your test cases from the requirement documents. And based on the requirement document, might be specifications for you to, but it's always very ideal that you carry out your mobile application testing using the very latest operating system version and also the devices. So for instance, if it's a good practice for you to look at for you to carry out simulation on a cloud platform like this across so many devices, and also for you to test your application on real devices. So for instance, what you could do is carry out an application, test your application on a real iOS device. So if your project is able to give you an iOS device that could have the latest version 12, you could try that out, and then you could get a Samsung Galaxy with software version 9 or 10 if that exists, and test your application on it, just so that you have a real feel of how the device works on those versions. And then what you could also now do is to carry out a regression test on all these multiple devices. If you can, using this kind of software, all this. Bear with me, sorry. Yeah. So what you could now do is, carry out a regression test, using all this software, and then getting the report back so that you understand how your device worked, not only on the, very latest version, but also on the very old versions as well. So and on this part of the application is, you can create groups. You can create an iOS group, give you a name. Mobile application testing Android group or something. Yep. And then you can create that. Select. You can also do you can create that, and then select your devices that you want to put in the group and all that. Yeah, so you can do that. So what I'll do this now is I'll quickly show you. I'll show you the dashboard. So this is the dashboard that you would have, and your dashboard will look at will give you the number of users, the devices available. I'm using the free version of the application, and I'm only entitled to 4 devices, which are on the free version. So these are well, I have 5 devices. Oh, okay. So so I have one iOS device, and then I have 4 other trial version. No, okay. So I have 2 iOS devices and 4 Android devices. So that's good. It used to be 4 when I checked it earlier. So that's good. And then and then it gives you the percentage ratio of your tests, and also the number of tests that you've run, and all that. And here is the projects view. Depending on the number of projects that you have, you could continue to add and create a new project. I'm going to just create a new one. So I'm going to call it mobile application testing projects 2. No, okay, I have 2 already. Project 1. And then and then you click add. So once you click add, you click on the project itself, and then you go to your test run creator. So you have your test run creator here. So you can actually either go through creating a project first, and then come into your test creator, or go into the test creator to add your devices and all that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add. All right, before I do that, let me try and see if I can create a group, so that we'll put all these devices in one group, and then we are able to use them, all the devices available. So let's say, let me see, let me call it mobile application testing devices group. Okay, hold on. So it's blanked out the select. All right, let me see if I can do this. So if I select this, yes, select 2 devices selected. All right, so no, so it's not allowing me to add them to the group. But let's carry out it. We'll do 2 tests, one for the Android and one for the iOS device here. So I go back to my projects. I click on this. I highlight that here, and I click on that. So I want the iOS tests. So another thing that you need to bear in mind before we go to the test, one thing that you need to know as well is that on an application like this, you need to have your device on a tool like this. You need to have your application ready for testing. And one of the ways to download for you to play around with this, what you need to do is to can you see my screen, please? Yeah, can you see my screen? I'm on Google. Hello. Can you see my screen, please? Let me know if you can see my screen by typing yes. Thank you. All right. So one thing you can do is for you to download any application. Gift3 doesn't have a mobile application. It doesn't have a mobile application that you can download from any store. But we're just going to see. I'm just going to show you how to get an application that you can download, and then you can upload to the tool that we're using. So what you can say is download, let's say, TripAdvisor APK. Yeah. So for Android devices use an extension called APK, and then for iOS they use IPA. Yeah. So they use an extension called IPA. So once depending on any APK application that you want to, let's say we want to download for BBC iPlayer. So yeah, that's it. So all you need to do is to look for yeah, you'd get them from all these kind of sites. Just click download. It downloads to your device, and then when you come here, this is going to ask you. So this is I'm going to show you now how to then upload this to the tool. So this is going to ask you for the APK for you to upload an APK file. So if I was using an iOS device and I say app crawler, then it's going to ask me for an IPA uh, application tool to upload. So I have an an APK device application which I've already downloaded before. So what I'm going to do is to go for the application crawler Android, and then choose a file to upload. So I have 3 applications there which I've already uploaded. So I'm just going to pick this one, the travel advice. So use this for this test, and then yeah, so it's giving me the trial Android devices as the device to use. So on the actual paid version, you would have loads and lots of devices here to select from. But because this is a limited version, I'm only entitled to the trial versions. And then here you have so you have some external settings to put here. I could put my log. I'm going to put my email address to see if this will log in for me. And then password. Yep. And then you can see that you can give a name, give the test run a name, the timeout period, how long you can set a timeout period. So for you to avoid losing time during your test, you can give it depending on how long you want it to run for, or how long you want it to time out for. You can put that there. You can schedule, one device at a time, or all of them to run simultaneously. So in this scenario, we're going to use simultaneously. And then if you have a test case, this now becomes, if you're going into automation and you want to automate this test run, you can either select your package or your class. And then your test case option to include or not to include, depending on what you want the tool to do, to probably, maybe to run through some scenarios and all that, you can set this here. And these are also for automation and all that. So this is where it takes screenshots, where you want it to store your screenshots and all that. This is your test runner. So in this particular instance, we are using the Android test instrumentation test runner, and then other parameters that you want to add, you can add them as well. So now I'm going to create a new test run. So then it takes me back to, so the test is starting now. As you can see, 4 devices are simultaneously being test run. Now it will install the application that the APK file that we've added. It will first of all install into these 4 devices, and then it will, after installing, it will launch the application, and then it will try to log in to the application using the mobile email address and the password which I've set. So this is going to take a while that runs and all that. So while this is running, I'm going to be showing you something else, another tool which you can also use as well. So this one is called CTest Cloud. It's a free tool as well. You can Google this cloud.ctest.io. It's from Xperi Test, and what this does as well is this gives you an emulation of real devices. I'm using the trial version as well, so I'm limited to the number of devices which I'm going to use. Now, if I open up this one, so it's going to show me Yeah, I hope you can see the new window which I've opened. All right, so okay, that's fine. So can you see the Samsung, is it a Samsung phone? Yeah, the Samsung device which is on the, that's fine, thank you. Now, this is a Samsung device. So this, this is an emulator, and it gives you a real feel of how the device, how a real device will perform or look like. You can, you can, if you open up the desk, if you don't, you see, so there are many applications stored on the device. You can scroll, just like you would normally use your mobile device. You have all the functionalities and all the applications stored on it and all that. And you have here, if you want to go back to home, rather than clicking these buttons, you can use this if you want to lock the device. If you want, what does this do? If you want to switch apps and all that. If you want to rotate the device, you can use this to change the orientation and all that. The menu, buttons and all that. So on this one, I'm going to open up the gift rates. Yeah, so okay, here it's already stored my so yeah, that okay. So let me go back. Let me just change it. Let me just change the orientation back. That's it. So now let me just quickly do one thing. Bear with me. Bear with me 1 second. I just want to do some, yeah. All right. So this is So this is a bit slow, and these are one of the limitations of using emulators against or simulators against real devices. Um, so bear with me. I'm just okay. Let me go back to. It's a bit slow. All right. Let me open up the. So on this side of the tool, you have the monitors, so you can simulate depending on the different types of network that you want to simulate and see how your application performs on them, how they perform. You can, do the light network, slow 3G, fast 3G, offline mode, and all that. And you can also try and emulate different battery scenarios. Yeah, so it's trying to fetch the data on this one, so we can come back to that. And then this one as well, depending on the so it's still fetching the data. So it's a bit slow. I don't know why. Yeah, but what this will give you is it will simulate different CPU. It will tell you the performance of your application and based on the CPU usage. And this one will also tell you. Yeah, so look, these are the different simulations that you can perform for your batteries as well. So this should display and all that, and then the memory as well. So it will tell you, how your application is doing, based from, this is the time at the moment now. So based on maybe like a 1 hour or 5 minutes, sorry, a 2, 3, 4 minute interval, you can monitor the memory, and usage, the CPU usage and all that. So these are various tools that you can use to set up your test cases, and then report back, to the development team on how the application is performing. If the memory usage is so high, that might be an issue, a performance issue that needs to be raised as a bug. And, if the CPU usage is also very high, so depending on what issues that you encounter, you can then report this and all that. So you also have here, you also have, you also have the logs here. You can play the logs. Just bear with me. The log should be, so yeah, it's a bit slow. I don't know why. So these are the logs as well. So you can, for you to track and report issues, you can download the log. and save it as a file that will be attached to the bug that you've raised, so that the developers can look at the log and then quickly resolve the issues and all that. And so basically, I'm just going to go to, yeah. So I'm just going. So this is how an example. I'm at gitreads.com. So this is the interface. This is the mobile outlook for gitread.com, and I'm just going to quickly go through the registration scenario. And one of the things that you should understand while you are carrying out mobile application testing is that mobile application testing is you more or less carry out the same kind of test scenarios as with a normal application, but there are some things that you need to that makes it different to mobile to ordinary website testing. And one of the things that you need to do, I will show you now, is, for instance, if you come, so we're basically going ahead to test a mobile web application here. So one of the things that you need to do is, first of all, you need to, for instance, here I have go to gift rates URL, but in what you need to write is launch the browser and go to launch Android. You know, you need to add the names Android browser of the device you're using, Android browser, and go to giftrates.com, and then you put the expect. And all right, so let me just take this out so that we can use this as a test case. Just bear with me while I copy this. Right, before we continue with this, let's just quickly check how how this is doing. Let me refresh this. Bear with me 1 second. Yes, so so it's this is finished, and you can see the test is 100% on the 4 devices. You can see the time bar as well. So the Google Nexus LG phone took 7 minutes. The Motorola did 5, and so you can see that the performance of the application across most of the devices are between 5 and 7 minutes. So for instance, if you had another device here that that the time bar was like 30 minutes, then obviously that calls for an issue. So that would be reported as a bug, and that would be looked into. I'll show you what you could attach as you could attach to the bug and all that. So one thing, so this is the performance for the LG Google Nexus 5. You could see the method passed, the steps were this test steps with passed without errors, 100% steps without errors. And it started, prepared, installed. So I told you that it was going to install the application. It took about 22 seconds to install the application. So it ran me for about 7 minutes. It took another 11 seconds to prepare the results and process the results for another 3 seconds. Yeah. Now, so it gave So look, these are the data provided. There were no major issues, and it says worth checking. Test run duration is 1.2 times as median. So when we go back to the when we go back to the dashboard here, bear with me. Dashboard. Okay. So when we go back here, yeah, all right. So you could see that this all the other devices were like 5 minutes interval. They did the test was within 5 minutes, but this was within 7 minutes, and that was why it told us here that device time is 1.3 times as median, and duration is also 1.5 times as median. But it's worth checking, to see why the application is working differently on another device. So these are the test steps. So this is test everything. Yeah. So these are the test steps, right from and all that, and these are the logs for the test as well. So in a situation or scenario like this, what you could do is you will download the logs. You will download the logs. You can download the logs, attach it to a bug, attach it to the bug that you've created. Raise the issue. All right. Well, let me just try and see if we can. Let me just try and see if we can just raise this as an issue and show you how to do that quickly. All right. So I'll just say mobile. Just ignore this. I don't know why it's coming up. So it's a new defect. So we'll say the test run on LG Nexus. Title test run duration on, and then what is the issue? Duration took longer to duration took longer to run, and then so it's a new defect reported, and in sprint 1. So launch. So what you would say is launch this, launch Google, blah blah blah. So go to, so let's say you're doing it, let's say, launch Google, Lexus this, install application, let's say it's gift rates application that you are testing, go to application, launch, and tried to load application, launch application, and then try or simulate login using valid credentials. So when you're trying to reproduce, you just give them an overview of how this how the test could be reproduced. And then, as we rightly said last week, the system information is LG, Google, this. So that is the environment where the so another thing that you can say is that it's Bitbar, the cloud tool, and then it is LG, Google, Nexus, blah blah blah, and then we would have the device information here. Yeah. So this is the device information. And so what you could do is, copy all this information here. That is the environment where the issue is. Copy all that information and stick it in here. Yeah, software. So you have the software version, the application level, the manufacturer, the CPU, the instruction, the RAM size, the internal storage. So this gives you the environment and all the parameters, for that particular device. And then when we go back here, we download the log. So I've downloaded the log, and I'm just going to store the log somewhere. Bear with me while I store the log somewhere. Yeah. So what's happening? Okay. Sure. So I'm going to store it somewhere, and then we can attach it to we can then attach it to So yeah, so that's it. So we put the we put the we put the system info. So now we are raising a bug, so we don't need to put any acceptance criteria or anything there because this is a bug. And so we attach the log here. So add an attachment, and then I have it here on my. So you can see that I've attached the console log, which the developer would use to, they would go to the console log. It gives them, they would have an understanding of what went wrong, where it went wrong, what they need to fix, and all that. And then when we come back here, we have the photos that that was taken. No, this is not the beginning. So let's go to the very. So this is a video of the whole process from start to finish. So it did a video. Well, this is a long video. Yeah. So you can download the video as well and attach to the bug if you want, or you can also have. It also gives you the screenshots, so you can download them. And so let me just download one of the screenshots here. So I'll just download the screenshot and we'll attach that to the bug as well. All right, so yeah, I'm going to attach this to the bug as well. So where's my screenshot? Yeah, that's it. So I've attached the screenshot as well to it. So basically, as much information as you can have, you attach it to to the bug, and then you could also give them this just this as well. So this makes the bug reproducible, so that the developer, looking at the information you provided and the details, will be able to you can add this here. Test duration was let me increase the font for you. Yeah, so test duration was this. You've added the environment, you've added the steps to reproduce it, you've given them 2 files, a screenshot and all that. And and you also need to put the build as well. If you know the build information, you can add the build. Let's say that it's build 1.2 of the application, you can add it there and all that. So basically, and if it's in an integrated environment, you can also add the details of the integrated environment there, and then you save. So that so that is basically how you would raise that bug for that issue, and then they will look at it here. So looking at the others, other devices as well, basically the same thing. The same is, so yeah, this is just this is just another issue that another warning and all that. So on here you have the output files. You have the log, the console log, the device log, the performance log, and also the test XML as well. So basically, this is how you would run a test on an application across multiple devices simultaneously, and then gather the generate your logs and your test steps, and also report any issue that you may find as a result of that. So we'll go back to Samsung Galaxy. Basically, just to show you the steps to carry out registration or signing in on giftreach.com and all that. Yeah. So one of the things that makes this different from an actual web testing is, there are some additional steps that you need to take, to carry out a mobile application testing here. So as I was saying earlier, you have to first of all uh, click launch your browser. So this device is very slow tonight. Yeah. Okay. So first of all, launch your browser. Uh, yeah. So launch your browser. Type the URL. I've already typed the URL here. Gifttree.com, and then you need to. All right. So you launch your Android device browser and go to gifttree.com. The expected behavior is that the website should be, or the URL should open the website, and once you do that, you can take image. If you want, you can take image to say that. Let me actually go to the home page, not the registration page. Bear with me. This device is very slow. I don't know why. Just hold on. I'm trying to. Device is very slow. You know what? Let me pick up another device. Just bear with me. Close. All right. So let me pick up. Okay, we have a Samsung Galaxy. Let's use this one. This is a new device. Let's use this one. So it takes some time to prepare the device. Yeah. All right. So this is a Samsung Galaxy device. I'm going to look for the browser. Okay, so this is the browser here. Probably going to. All right. So yeah, I hope you can see my screen now. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I'm going to answer questions at the end of this at the end of this session. Yeah. But I hope you can see my screen now. If you could type yes, please. That's fine. Thank you. All right. So this is giftreach.com, and this is the landing page. Obviously, you can see that this is quite different from how it would normally open on the website. So this is QA. Alright, so I can't reach this. So, okay. Sorry, I just want to show you the difference between how it looks on the actual website and how it looks on the mobile website. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. So this is the actual gift rates website. This is not the mobile one. This is the actual one. And then when you look at this. When you look at the device one, it's the website conforms to the screen size and also the resolution of the mobile devices. So these are the differences between actually testing a web page and actually testing a mobile device. And one of the things I can see tonight is if you were to be testing in a real life environment, you can see that using emulators, it's actually slow compared to what you would find on a real device and all that. So I'm just going to quickly show you. Oh. Yeah, so I'm just going to. Yeah. I'm going back to. I just want to quickly show you how to just login, do a quick scenario registration and all that. So let me refresh this. But basically, what you would have to do, you'd have to launch while that is trying to start up. You'd have to launch your device browser and then type in the URL, and then you can, depending on whether if the actual site's open on this scenario, in this instance, it's a pass because you have the website. And one of the things that you can also raise, if this was, for instance, if this was a downloaded application and it's taking forever like this to respond, this is a performance issue which you have to report. I've shown you how to how to raise a bug on that, and you can attach screenshots or put information as to how long it took for the device to respond and all that. And another thing that you need to so once the website opens, you would see that the display of the icons are quite different, and so the device is not responding. Yeah. So depending on what the requirements document says, click maybe the home page is on. You would find the home page on an actual website on the headers and all that. But for a mobile device, you might not even see the home page button. You might see like some dots and or like some marks that you need to click on that will open the home page. So these are the various differences between testing a mobile app and testing a web app. And also I'm just waiting for this to come up as well. Yeah, we're almost getting there. Yeah, so this is what I'm saying. Yeah, so you'll probably see, you have depending on the layout of how it's showing, you probably see this is not responding. Let me see if I can just quickly let's see if you can use this one to do a quick test. So no, I'm not selecting manual testing. Yeah. So, okay. Let's use this one. So we can do the same thing on this tool as well, but this is quite limited. This gives us only 5 minutes, while this gives us about 30 minutes. So yeah, this gives us about 30 minutes. Well, it's so slow. All right, so this is So I'm doing this on another tool. So we open the mobile device, mobile browser. I click accept. Every time you come here, it's always cleaned up so that you can then use it. So QA1 dot. Yeah, this is better. All right, so yeah, so depending on what the requirements says, you would have every. So so basically your test steps will be based on you'll be reading off the requirements document which you've been given. So as we rightly see here, you would need to you would have to navigate on this screen. You would have to click different buttons compared to how you have the headers. These are the headers on the web page. So this is the web page. You have all the headers, all the different buttons here to open different pages on the header on the normal website. But for the mobile websites, it is quite different. It is more adaptation to the resolution and the screen size of the mobile app and all that. So on this one as well. So let's say we were to go into the home page, you'd have to first of all get to the landing page. So so launch the mobile app, and then you should, let me just add another new step here. Insert and then action, go on the landing page. Click so on the landing page, sorry, click the menu button, the menu icon or the menu button to open the home page. So we've done that, and we can see expected behavior. Landing page should have the menu icon. Yeah, so that's a pass on this one. And then so when we click on this here, we should have a drop down, showing the home, give blah 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 and all that. So we should, so number 3, menu icon should click on menu icon. Menu icon should have 4 drop downs, and home button should be on first or something. Yeah, let's say home button should be first on the list. Yes. Expected behavior. Menu icon has home button listed first on drop down. Yeah, so that one is a pass as well. So and then as you go through these different scenarios, you can take screenshots. Your screenshots are being saved here, which you can refer back to them. And so you click on that, and on this part of the and as you're clicking through, you're seeing your logs being displayed here on this part of the page. And so yeah, so this is the home page and all that. So so basically that's how you would I know that you guys are going through a manual testing class at the moment here, but basically you need to adapt your test case design to fit a mobile application. And also as you go through, it's easier for you to do things like take screenshots. You get your logs as compared to a manual testing. You don't have to get any third-party screenshot application to take screenshots and all that. And some of these tools are also integrated with test management tools. Some of them have integration with tools like Jira, and also continuous development and continuous integration and continuous development pipelines and all that. And then you can also, and then a lot of them also give you the ability to run automation tests on them. But because of the limitations that we have on using a page tool, we won't be able to see all that at the moment here. And yeah, this is where we'll be stopping tonight. Yeah, I hope you've enjoyed the session, and if you have any questions, I can answer them now. Yeah. So, yeah, someone saying, how do you know the right level of memory and CPU? All right, so basically, you need to, part of your requirement document should specify the right level of memory and the CPU environment as well. But as a good tester, you need to broaden in order for you to have good test coverage. In order for you to provide assurance to the business about the quality of the application that has been developed, you need to test this over, that's why you have a good testing strategy, and also speak to the business to understand what they want, and to be able to devise what, to look at the devices in the market, and carry out your test, across many devices and many scenarios. So it's based on using many scenarios, having many scenarios, understanding what the business needs are, and providing a good test coverage. So I know someone's saying, is there a specific advantage of emulators to real mobile devices? So emulators, one of the things that we discussed too in the first session was emulators will give you, there are so many devices in the market now, there are so many versions, platforms and all that. But with the use of emulators here, you are able to test your application over many devices simultaneously. You also, and it's cost effective as compared to having to buy different versions of Android, iOS devices, and all that. Can you put this? Someone is asking, can you put these simulators in your CV? Yeah. So as long as you played, you've gone through, you played with it. The actual these tools I'm showing you tonight are actual mobile application tools that that you can use on a live project. So there are many flavors of these out there. There are about 50 of them out there. These ones are the actual real live applications which you can say you've used before and upon your CV and all that. So there's no comment field in mobile web test scenarios as in web-based. No comment field. I really don't understand that. I'm sorry. And someone is asking what is APM. It's not, yeah, so it's APM. APM is an open source mobile application testing tool. Yeah, it allows you to do both manual and automation test scripts. So mobile APM works on the back of Selenium. You guys will be learning Selenium in your automation sessions. It's an APM. APM is a server. It works on the back of Selenium, and then it has uh, you'd have to configure APM to crawl on the application, access the application, both the mobile. So you can use APM just to test all different types of mobile application, and rather than you what you can actually do with APM is you can write automation scripts that would be that Selenium on as you normally write for normal Selenium to test a web application, and then add some capabilities or arguments to it for APM to then work on the back of these scripts and then test the UI and also the apps of mobile applications. Yeah, so it's a well-known tool, and it's something that is good for you to learn and know as well. Yep, as there are no other comments. Sorry, I didn't understand the one about comment field in mobile web tests. Oh, okay, all right. So I don't understand that, and I don't want to guess. So in the absence of no other questions, this is where we'll be calling it a day, and I hope you've enjoyed this session. Thank you, and bye.